yourself and live gratefully. Keep yourself in good company.
How we doing, YouTube? I'm Thomas. I run the God Wants You To Bible channel. Have an autoimmune disorder. Just trying to get my story out there a little bit. It's been a few weeks. I wanted to already post by now. It's one of them things, you know, I'm new to this content creation stuff. I'm new to putting my face out there. I mean, I'm a very open, talkative person, but it's like when people are like right here next to you talking, it's a little different. Sorry if there's a little bit of wind in the mic. I'm gonna try to keep the wind off of it. It is a little windy, but I mean, it's a nice day here in Texas today. But no, living with an autoimmune disorder, again, you know, as I said in my first video of talking about this, it's not just the autoimmune. So like me, I have chronic Lyme disease. So it's not just the Lyme disease and doing all the treatments, or, you know, as in my case, I have chronic Lyme, which chronic Lyme means that they didn't catch the Lyme in time. So it started affecting my nervous system. So I get a real lot of dizzy spells. And I mean, I could literally be in the car and it just comes on in a blink of an eye, and that's it. You know, I got to pull on the side of the road. I got to call people. I mean, I normally have my anxiety medicine with me. Never had anxiety ever in my life before this. Don't get me wrong, I've had adrenaline rushes, and it's similar, you know, anxiety similar to an adrenaline rush without there being an adrenaline rush. So, and that's one of my biggest things, is living with the anxiety is the biggest thing. Because you let that fear play, and I know in the Bible, you know, we're not supposed to play on the fear or let fear be there, but fear is there. No matter which way you look at it, we still have fear. No matter how much we try to give it to God, we still have that fear. But you know, day-to-day struggles, you know, some days, I mean, I can't go to sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was on a good schedule for a little while, where I was going to bed between 11 and 12 and then getting up at 7, 8. And now it's like 3, 4 in the morning by the time I fall asleep, and then I'm not getting up to 10, 11 o'clock, and it's like my day's wasted. And I'm glad that we spring forward, you know, because now I have a little extra, you know, daylight in the evenings. Right now it's 2:30 here in Texas. But no, it's this living with an autoimmune disorder. It is different. It's way different than living with like a broken arm or whatever, because people can see your broken arm. They can see your broken leg. They can't see what's inside your head or how you're actually feeling inside. And when people look at you and they're looking at you like, hey, man, you're normal. I mean, you're out here, you're laughing and everything else, but you're trying to do your best to cope with your situation. And it's really different. And then of course, for me being a male, I'm not trying to say that, you know, being a female would be easier, but me being a male, you know, I can't provide for my family. I can't go to work. If I've gained weight, I mean, that's for sure. Sorry. Oh, I got an itch. I've gained weight, trying to get the weight off. My age is catching up to me on the weight loss. So, I mean, back in my late 20s, early 30s, I mean, I could just go on a diet and I mean, I would lose weight within a month. I mean, crap, 4 years ago, all I had to do was just change what I ate. You know, not eat no sweets or chocolate milk or nothing, which is my nemesis. Cookies and chocolate milk is my nemesis. But, which there again, we put all the sweets away 3 months ago. So I get blood work this week. And hopefully what I've been doing, you know, brought some of my cholesterol levels and some other stuff, because that's the other thing, is I'm not being very active. So the more I'm active, the more I do, whether it's working out, using resistance bands at the house or anything, the more I do, it'll put me down for 3 or 4 days. It's like I can't do nothing. I'm so slow and sluggish. The dizzy spells are worse. It's like the more my nervous system gets overactive. And the thing is I mean, the good old Ensure commercial, a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. So I'm a big believer in that, because of what's happened over these last 10 years. Be 11 years this June, so 10 and a half years now. And it's been a roller coaster ride. Don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as what it was in the first 6 months. First 6 months, man, not being able to get out of bed, peeing in pee bottles. I know a lot of y'all probably don't care, but man, peeing in pee bottles, having help to go to the bathroom, having help taking a shower. It's like, man, I'm not 85, 90 years old. But that's also the other thing that you got to think of somebody with autoimmune disorder is now, what's my life expectancy? Nobody really knows. The stress is number one killer in the world. The more we say stress, the less years we have on our life. And what's bad about that is I can be, like right now, I'm not stressed. My bills are paid. My wife works 2 jobs. That God provided me with a wife, even in my situation that I'm in. So no matter what, everything's there. All the bills are paid. House is clean. Food's in the deep freeze. I'm in an apartment. I have a deep freeze full of food. I have the refrigerator, freezer. The cupboards are full. Money in the bank account. I don't make no money off these YouTube videos. Even though I have, 1,450 subscribers on here, I don't make no money. I'm not monetized or nothing. And even this channel here, if I did make money off of this channel here, it's not for no passive income or even side hustle money. This is all about God. And so I will use the money that I make from this channel here I have another channel, Thomas Ophthalmology. I will help that channel out with the money, and once that channel is there, everything's going to be donated. Everything's going to be big time donated. I'm not going to go to a church or anything else like that. Hopefully that lawnmower ain't too loud in the background. Again, I'm really worried about this wind. We'll see when I go inside. If I have to come and do another take, I'll do another take. If not, I do apologize for the wind. But I'm not just going to go donate to like a church or an organization. What I want to do is I want to give it back to the people that are watching and my subscribers. And what I'm going to do, I wind up doing is, once this channel does get monetized, I'm actually going to start giving out personalized Bibles. I'm going to try to get with some companies. I'm going to start looking at actually some start looking at some companies here in the next day or so. And I want to start seeing if any of them will sponsor this channel by providing free personalized Bibles. And, nice leather backs with your name on them, engraved on it. But I want to give back in a different way, with this channel. I don't expect this channel to get monetized. I don't expect to go nowhere with this. This channel here is for 2 reasons. The first and topmost is to give God Almighty all the praise and be a fisher of men. Our job is to, once we find the Lord, is to spread the word of the Lord. So I do my daily verses. I don't just do one verse. I do multiple verses of different books every day. And then the second is to get my story out there. So no different than anybody else. Some people might have not sinned as much as I did in my life, but I'm a sinner. We're human. We're man, should I say. Everyone always says, we're just human. Well, we don't know what an alien's like, do we? The only alien that we know of is God. He's the only alien. So when all these sightings are they fallen angels? Are they fallen, demon angels? We don't know. That's a whole nother subject. But that's all conspiracy. We don't know. But again, I'm not trying to get monetized with this channel to make money off this channel. This channel is literally to be fisherman. There's so many people out there that don't know Christ because they've taken it out of our schools. They've taken it out of, they're taking it out of our government. They're taking it out of everywhere. I remember in the mornings, I'm 44. I remember in the mornings going to school, say the Pledge of Allegiance, you say a prayer, and then our Texas anthem here. So it's different now than what it was then. But anyways, But no, living with an autoimmune disorder is very different. It's like my wife, the kids are on spring break, so my wife's home for a couple of days for vacation while my stepdaughter's home from spring break. And it's like all she wants to do is clean the house, and it's like, that's my job. She goes to work, she busts her butt. Enjoy your vacation. Now if there's something that I need help with, then help me with that. That's normal. That's just a normal day. Like some days, I might have a plan to cook dinner. I plan throughout the week for what I'm going to cook. I do a lot of chicken, so I might do chicken potatoes one day, chicken salad for them, meat chicken wraps. I do different things every day. It might be meatloaf one day, spaghetti one day, my stepdaughter's favorite, chicken parmesan eggplant. I mean, I cook a lot of food, or I do a lot of cooking. But if I know, so say I know today's a certain meal, and all of a sudden today was just a real rough day, by the time she comes home for lunch, if I already know it's that rough of a day, I'll tell her, okay, start thinking about what you want. And I'll even text my stepdaughter. I'm like, all right, what do y'all want for dinner in case I can't cook? You want your ramen. My stepdaughter loves ramens, but you want your ramens, you want PB&J, you want a sandwich. I mean, we got corn dogs, we got chicken nuggets. I mean, we'll get something else in there I keep that stuff in case I'm having a bad day. If I can't get up and cook and can't do. So again, I try to have all the dishes done. I try to have, everything clean so my wife don't have to do it. Now, if I need help, I'll ask her for help. So, but no, the daily struggles of living with an autoimmune. Sorry, I'm trying to see what that lawnmower is. I know y'all probably hear it in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. This living with an autoimmune disorder, it is, or with Lyme disease, should I say, chronic Lyme disease, it's changed my life completely. I mean, I don't want to imagine, but I can imagine now, people with multiple sclerosis and lupus and these other ones that are even more severe than what I have. Just remember, if somebody has an invisible illness, you can't see it. That's why it's called an invisible illness. So, and where the struggle lies is most invisible illnesses mess with your brain, messes with your mind. So, and that's where the anxiety and fear and, I'm not ready to leave this world yet, but if God came back today, he wouldn't hurt my feelings. I still want to live on this beautiful creation he made. I just don't want to live with all the evil that's in it. But that's just what we have to do, right? So my goal is try to do my best part to make my part better than where it needs to be in life, and hopefully the people around me. And sometimes I'm difficult. I'm a difficult person to be with. So I'm a butthole sometimes. I'm pretty strict, and I run a house a certain way. I run with rules. I run with regulations. Some of my family, they disagree with my rules and regulations, but you know what? When we bypass the rules and regulations, look at the world. You stop rules and regulations and you start letting people do what they want, cities burn. They burn to the ground. You have now people who don't want to work and they're sleeping underneath bridges or on people's land, and they can do it. All these squatters on people's lands. And then there's nothing that the government will even do about it. So there has to be rules and regulations. So, I don't know. I'm not strict like North Korea is strict. I'm not military personnel. I'm not ex-military personnel. My family says that I run a military household. To a degree, I want order. I want when a grown-up asks a child to do something, they do it. Now, my kids don't get spanked. They're too old to be spanked, One of my biggest disciplines was making them write sentences. You back talk, you do this, you do that, you write sentences. 10 Commandments is a real good one. My stepdaughter, she thanks me now. She's like, I thank you for those sentences. My handwriting's better. You know, I mean, so there's some ups and downs from it. I yell a lot. I have a big mouth, and that's probably the biggest one, and I need to work on. Is I yell a lot, and there again, sometimes it's like I don't realize that some of it's happening. I've always been a big talker, but since this has happened to me, sometimes I get aggravated quicker, and that's where I ask the Lord, which sometimes you need to watch what you ask. I ask for patience. And I mean, I've gotten a lot of patience over the last 10 and a half years. Oh man, have I gotten a lot of patience. My patience would already ran dry years ago with a lot of situations, but I've gained some patience. I probably need a little bit more. It's different living with an autoimmune. It's different going to all these doctors when you never went to doctors ever in your life. I mean, especially the male. The man's always like, oh, I got a cold. I'm going to work, do whatever. I mean, I was the same way. Go grab some NyQuil or DayQuil, pop them pills, and keep going for the day. All right, I got 103 fever. I'm still going, and you just chug through it. And it's like, I want to chug through it, but then I want to keep myself and everybody else safe. And that's where a lot of people, they look at me, or some of my family, they're like, hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. It's like, yeah, but my dizzy spells while I'm out driving, just go to the store here or whatever. Yes, they're not every day, but if I get dizzy and it was enough dizzy spell, and there again, the fear is going to kick in a little bit here, and I blacked out, I'm going to kill myself or somebody else. If I'm dizzy and I feel like I'm in, what's the word when people get drunk and high and everything else? They're not they're not impaired all the way. So I feel impaired, you know. So why do I want to get behind the wheel of a car and put my life or someone else's life at jeopardy? So before all this happened, I drove 18-wheelers, and one of the biggest things being an 18-wheel driver is you see all those wrecks. You know, people dead, these cars crushed. And it's like, you go out and drink and drive, and it's like you're putting your life and someone else's life at jeopardy to do this, you know? So I got in a mentality when I was younger to, when I'm out driving or when I'm out and about, you know, and I had one or two drinks, I don't care if it was one beer that I had whenever I'd go to, like, my family's for crawfish or whatever else, and I had a nice, you know, beer or so with my crawfish. Got a squirrel jumping. If I had one beer, I mean, it was like 5 hours before I drove. So it wasn't when I was younger, in my sinful days. It wasn't like that. I'm not proud of some of the things I did. None of us ever are, you know. But I know where my downfalls were, or the things that I did wrong, and I'm going to teach my kids, or like my neighbors around me. And my neighbors, they get in the car all the time with a beer. I'm like, dude, you know, is it really worth it? Is it worth having on your conscience that you kill somebody, or is it worth your family going to a funeral and mourning you now because you decided to go do that? Where us with autoimmune disorders, we didn't have a choice in the matter. You know, it ain't like I went and did something and woo, now I got a tick bite. You know, I wasn't over here playing with a tick and say, okay, bite me, give me this disease. But now that it's happened though, if I'm out driving or I'm not feeling, I feel these brain surges, these rushes. Like I had this rush, like if you bent over and you got up too fast and you got, you know, real dizzy from your blood pressure changing itself in your system, I'll get like that just sitting here. You know, it's different. It's a very different lifestyle. But I can't see the time on my cell phone of how long this has been. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. I'm going to try to upload a lot more. My daily struggles in the last couple of weeks has been really bad. My wife's been on my butt like, hey, you should be recording right now because you're going through bad. Today's not a horrible day. It's not a good day. I feel I'm a little off today. It's a little off day. But I'm not dizzy or nothing else, so I decided to come outside and, of course, make this video here. And instead of just being inside at my desk and my little makeshift studio in there for my review channel I have, I wanted to get out of the house, get fresh air. Fresh air is good. And that's one thing that I do is, even though I'm at the computer all day, you know, trying to find other ways to make videos or work from home or whatever else. And since I drove 18-wheelers, I'm not a big smart guy. So I'm not stupid. I'm pretty smart in the world, but when it comes down to typing and doing other stuff, I know everyone's going to say, oh, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. To a degree. You got limitations, and again, stress. Anyone with autoimmune disorder, man, stress. You got to remember, you got to keep the stress out of their life. So if you have a husband, a wife, a mom, a dad, an uncle, an aunt, grandma, grandpa, cousin, and they have an autoimmune disorder, don't walk on pins and needles, but keep the stress levels down for them. Don't make it so stressful for them. The less stress on their body, less stress on the immune system. So like me, my stress gets high. I go here in 3 weeks, can't wait. But I get trigger points all the way down my neck, all the way down my spine, all through my shoulders. I stay so tight. My nervous system is so stressed, it is intertwined. So, and that's my biggest one. But again, I'm not going to keep this too long. I'm Thomas. This is my life with an autoimmune disorder. Again, I'm going to try to get more out, more content. Like, subscribe. It would show me that people are watching. And if you like this type of realism content, let me know. If y'all are one of my subscribers on, because of the Bible channel and you're watching this, comment. Even if it's just an amen, comment down there. Let me know that I'm doing good. I get a couple of people that, backlash a little bit on the channel, but it ain't too much. I get a couple of negs, dislikes on it, but I'm not here to get their like. I'm here to get the word out, especially to somebody that doesn't know God. But these videos here, though, is to let people know about other people with autoimmune disorders. I know I've said it, and I'm being a broken record here. I'm Thomas. I run the God Wants You To Bible channel. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you again.